There's no right or perfect way to do this introduction. I have filmed it like 20 times. So I am just going to dive in. It's going to be imperfect. This is the whole point. So, hey, welcome to my new long form video series. This is not a podcast, but I do have a microphone. And I kind of just thought it would be really fun if the audio quality was really good. And I pretended like this was a solo podcast, basically. But it's just like a little story time ramble, start to a new series where I don't even know what it's going to be. It's not going to be anything. It's just going to be a sit and chat with me. I really feel like short form content is melting my brain. And I feel like there's so much about what I go through, what I live every single day as an artist that I want to share with you. And I often try to film these like really snappy, short form versions under 1 minute story time things. And, although it is possible sometimes and they can be funny and, impactful once in a blue moon, it is actually like not very fun to do. And I grew up watching YouTube. I love YouTube. I love long form content. Our attention spans are suffering, these days, including mine. And I don't even really watch YouTube anymore, but I'd like to. So this is my way to not only recommit as a viewer, but also as a artist that needs to create content myself. But truly it's to connect and for you to get to know me in a different way. So welcome. Today, I would like to tell you the story of what happened this morning at a performance that I had at a church. Put me on your computer while you clean, or in your headphones, or in the corner of your desktop while you do a spreadsheet or something. We're chatting. We're chit-chatting. Okay, so I met this amazing fan, I guess you could call her, though I'm reluctant to use the word fan. I think it cringes me for some reason. But listener, supporter of me and my music, Erin, this summer, I believe, at the Toronto Island. I was doing a performance there, and she was like, I swear I recognized you from somewhere, but I wasn't able to figure it out. And I saw your picture. Like, I guess they sent the picture before I performed, and I couldn't figure it out. I knew that you looked familiar, and then it just hit me that you're the person who sings Never Been Small. So we had this like beautiful connection, and she started following me, and she sent me an email after the gig, and she said, hey, like, I go to this church and I'd really like you to connect with the musical director and come sing a song at the church on a Sunday. I am personally not a church goer. I'm an atheist, but I grew up Roman Catholic, and it's important to know that for the story because I did said gig this morning, and it was one of the most radical, like, religious experiences, I guess you could say. Not me personally having like a religious experience, but witnessing a religious community space that I have ever experienced, been a part of, seen, witnessed. Jason, the musical director, asked if I could sing my song I'd Rather Be Ugly. And if you don't know that song, I'm going to play a little snippet of it now. I'm looking in the mirror, wishing I could change my face, but the voices that I'm hearing were never mine in the first place. So this song is a pretty intense one. I wrote it. It's a song that I feel like a lot of people actually don't get, and it's misunderstood. I can see that through the comments online and people in person, when they tell me that they listen to the song, they don't really get it, especially when they immediately want to reassure me that they think I'm beautiful. And though I appreciate that, that's not what the song is about. It's not looking for reassurance or validation that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm beautiful, and I think everybody is beautiful. It's about the beauty standard, but it's also about belonging. And it's about feeling like you don't belong, like you're always too much, and people want me to be less loud and less tall and less fat and less this and less that, and just like less of me. And it's about like no longer wanting to conform or reach for or try to become this version of myself that fits a beauty standard or a norm, because that just doesn't exist for me. And I think that all of us are like chasing this beauty standard, which we know it's unobtainable. And the closer that I get to the beauty standard, for example, I change my hair or I do my makeup or, I dress a certain way, it actually feels like I'm get further and further from myself, because that's maybe not actually who I am or what I actually want to look like. Or if it is, you see these people like Pamela Anderson, one of the most iconically beautiful people in the whole world, who like literally is a part of setting the beauty standard, being told that she's fat or she's ugly or she's not beautiful enough. Anyway, I digress. I don't really perform this song. I've only performed it once. And the reason is because people don't get it a lot. I find it makes me nervous to sing if people don't really understand it. The word ugly is makes people feel uncomfortable. And so I don't sing it a lot. It's also very hard to sing and it's very emotionally charged. So I've only sung it one time, but that's what they requested. So I went. It's the Metropolitan Community Church, I believe it's called, the MCC, Toronto MCC. And it's not just a queer friendly church, it is a queer church. Like, it is a queer affirming Christian church. And I have been to United churches before because I have performed and been a special guest for a few United churches before, but never an MCC church. And it was like special. It was pretty radical. I'm not going to lie. And I just think more people should know about this. And anyway, I want to tell you the story. So basically, an atheist, well, maybe like more so agnostic, I guess. I go to the church and I'm feeling pretty nervous. And as I walk in, the church choir is rehearsing. And I'm not going to lie, they sound really good. Like, really good. And like, no shade to community choirs. But I wouldn't say that they always sound great, But no, they each had a microphone. They were doing a full blown audio sound check. Mixed so beautiful, by the way. Kudos to those audio engineers. I was like, wow, this sounds really good. And they sounded so good. So right away I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. There's some musical skills happening. Then the musical director, Jason, was playing the piano. I was like, okay, I'm clocking the musical skills happening in this congregation. So Jason, the musical director, is showing me around. And we go into the back, which is its own like hall of sorts, a gathering area, and everyone's kikiing and they're having tea and cookies and chit-chatting and coming in and hugging and saying hi. And, there's something so special, and it's such a privilege to be able to witness queer elders, socializing and having a great time and smiling together. And it was particularly special. Let me set the scene. I'm entering the space. It's all painted white, so it's very bright and beautiful, and it's kind of like semicircular from what I remember, and it has these windows all across, so the natural light is coming in, and then under are flags, not just one like progress flag, every flag of all the identities, like the bisexual flag, the pansexual flag, the lesbian flag, the trans flag, all kind of like circling above. And then you have all of this beautiful community gathering. It was really nice. It was really beautiful. So immediately I was feeling the good vibes, but I was still, curious to see what was going to happen at Queer Church. And I get back to my seat. I'm feeling pretty nervous, mostly because this song is just very hard to sing. And as I mentioned before, it's like an intense theme. The service starts, and it is surprisingly so refreshing. Everything is centered around inclusivity and questioning faith and questioning beliefs as a means of being properly in your faith. I really felt like these are the Christian vibes that I imagine would be happening in the perfect world of what I think Christianity and what Christians represent, in my opinion. which is love, inclusivity, togetherness, acceptance. The pastor was a trans woman, and she really touched me. Like, what she had to say and share was so beautiful. She was talking about how when she went to the Pride Parade, I don't know if the church itself had a float or she was just on a float. And at the end, as always, there were like these protesters with their signs, and they're Christian and they're saying, like, repent and this is a sin, etc. And she said that she had this sign, and she stood with this sign, and she brought the sign to church to show us. And it was a pretty powerful moment to be in this queer church and to have the pastor take a neon pink sign from behind and raise it up and hold it in her arms. And it said on the sign, "This theology kills people." And it felt there was something just so powerful and radical about being in a church setting and seeing somebody, at the front leading the congregation and denouncing, the anti-LGBTQ beliefs of certain Christians. Also, just her standing like strong with that sign was so beautiful. It was very special to witness, and I think it really like fueled me to sing "I'd Rather Be Ugly" and to perform. So they had some, they sang some hymns, and there was some other like more gospel style songs, and then finally it was my time to sing. And so I went up and I gave them my little, very small preface about what the song means and what it's about. But I didn't feel like I had to say as much as I thought I would, because I just looked into the crowd, and based on what they were talking about already in the themes, that they were just going to get it. And they did. I think I actually have a little bit of footage that Erin tagged me in, so I'm going to put it in right now. I'd rather be ugly. There's so much more to me. And I'm through with crying over things I can't change. And I won't try. Yeah, so there you have it. It was so special, but here's what made it really, really, really like beyond special for me as an artist. Singing an original song. I finish the song and there's a moment of silence, and then people start clapping, and I'm receiving it and I'm feeling the love and I'm seeing their eye contact, and a lot of people are, they appear to be touched, and then people start to stand. And did I ever imagine that I would be having like a standing ovation from an entire congregation? you know, um, Based on the experience that I've had growing up in the Roman Catholic Church, no, I didn't think that was going to happen ever in my life, singing a song called "I'd Rather Be Ugly," and it was really moving, and it just brought me to tears. So I started crying. Of course, I started crying. Is it really a day in my life if I don't start crying, especially crying on a stage? I don't know. So immediately the tears were flowing, seeing all these beautiful humans smiling and clapping, and some of them crying too. So then I sit back down and the service continues. And I'm fighting back tears, man. I do not want to start like actually crying, because that's not good for anybody. But, the little tears are flowing, and I'm trying to take deep breath and reset. And I'm like, okay, compartmentalize, put this aside, and we'll cry later, Jenna. But people start like lining up to receive like the host. Is that what it's called? I honestly can't even remember. Like they were lining up to receive the body of Christ, And so they're all lining up, and then I'm like on the far left, in like the furthest left pew, and they're all lining up in the center, but then they either go left or right to like divide and then go back around and sit back in their pews. So everyone that turned left had to walk past me basically, and then one after another, these beautiful humans are stopping and they're whispering, "Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. You're so courageous. Your words touched me. That was the most beautiful performance." And people have tears in their eyes, and some people are crying with me. I'm like, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you." one after another, like barely able to keep my shit together. It was really special. And then, of course, the service ends and I get to talk to a bunch of people. And this was also like the cherry on top of the cake is this beautiful human came up to me and they were like, I was listening to this song while you were performing. I kept thinking to myself, man, this sounds so familiar. And I thought to myself, oh, geez, I hope I didn't like accidentally, rip off a song or something somewhere in the writing process. And they're like, no, I really I was like, I recognize this song. And then I thought, oh, maybe, are you covering this song? Because I've heard it before. And then they were like, but then look what I saw. And so they turned their phone to me, and on it is my Spotify account with all my songs downloaded. And he was like, I didn't expect you to be living in Canada, never mind be performing here at my church, and I listened to your music and I have them all downloaded. And that's why I know this song. I've listened to this song before. It's on my downloads on my Spotify account. It was just so nice. It was so nice. And yeah, I just quickly, I just want to touch on the power of community and inclusivity and acceptance, and the people in here are really thriving, and they have so many social justice programs. And I'm not here to sell you on a church. I'm not going to be going to that church personally. Church is not really for me, but it was like a very impactful moment for me as an artist because it really made me feel like this is why I do what I do. This is the power of music. This is the power of songwriting and of being the power of being honest and authentic in the songwriting, even if it means being vulnerable and putting yourself at a disadvantage for people maybe being able to see right through you. And singing I'd Rather Be Ugly is very challenging for me for all the reasons that I've mentioned. But being able to connect with a few hundred people and a couple dozen, face to face with tears in both of our eyes and hugging and feeling that connection, like I get you and you get me through the music, is why I do this. And that is my dream. That is my dream, to keep writing music so that we can keep having those moments of connection. I think that's also why, although I am talking to my phone right now, and that's, silly, but this is why I want to do some more long form content so that I could tell you guys these stories properly. And I hope that it can come across like you can really get to know me and my values and what I love and what I'm dreaming of and what I'm striving for. And I want to keep writing music that makes people think and that makes people feel connected and makes them feel seen, and also makes them question their realities and question their beliefs if necessary, and music that makes an impact. Because music has, obviously I'm a musician, I love music, and I'm a songwriter, all these things. I wouldn't be dedicated to music if this weren't true. But still, I feel like it's important to say that music has saved my life many, many times. And I know the power of music saves others, brings people together, helps people find community. And it was a real joy and a real pleasure to be a part of that service today at Gay Church. So thanks to Erin for loving me, my music, for believing in me, and for inviting me into your space and your community, and for introducing me to your community. We need that, by the way, artists. No matter what the size the artist is, whether they have 1 fan or 5 fans or 3,000 fans or 3 million fans. Well, maybe not 3 million because it might be hard to reach them. They might have a manager. But if they're an independent artist, it doesn't hurt to ask, hey, do you want to come perform at this? Or would you be willing to come, meet up and chat about music? You never know. So, yeah. Check out I'd Rather Be Ugly on all the platforms if you want. Leave a comment what you thought about the story, if you can envision it through the storytelling, or if you have a story of your own that you want to share. I hope you enjoyed this sort of solo podcast, long form content, and I hope you finished cleaning your room at this point. You finished your task and you're ready to move on to the next. And let me know what you think, and make sure to subscribe. Oh my God, I'm like an old school OG YouTuber. Subscribed, everyone. Maybe I'll add one of those sound effects. Ding! All right. Love y'all. Bye.